This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
A very pleasant good morning and welcome to Miret Team Live with Chris Stone and Chris Miret.
We shortened it to Stone. Thanks, Kara. See? I think I'm still Stone Cipher, but we'll get to that in a minute, right?
Right.
A little inside joke for now. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So we are excited to be here this morning with Kara Perry. She is with FAU, Florida Atlantic University, and Kara is I have to put my glasses on, Associate Vice President of Research Communications. That sounds like a pretty important title there, Kara. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So this is not your first rodeo as far as a radio show, is it, Kara?
It is not. I've been a guest here over the years throughout my career at FAU a few times, and not a stranger to the station because my father-in-law was Paul Stone on the air with Mr. G for many years here, and he's been retired a couple years now, but he really enjoyed his time here.
Excellent.
That's awesome. I heard he had quite the radio voice.
Oh,
He sure did.
he had the voice to die for. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was great.
I hope he's listening right now so you could hear that compliment.
Well, he can. He can go back and play it on YouTube and hear all the great things we're saying about him. Well, we're excited to have you here. FAU has definitely put itself on the map, and we'll get to all that. But, Chris, do we want to go over some market updates and some statistics
Absolutely.
before we start to have our great conversation with Kara?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and go over some market statistics. I'm going to hit St. Lucie County. And right now in St. Lucie County through July, the average days on the market, we're at consecutive days on the market. Yes, we're at 21 days on the market for new listings before they do go under contract. The median sales price, we're at $383,000 in St. Lucie County, which covers Fort Pierce and Port St. Lucie. In Port St. Lucie, it is well north of $400,000 right now. The absorption rate, which is the statistic we use to determine whether we're in a buyer's or a seller's market. And what that means is if no new listings come on the market as of today, how many months supply do we currently have? And right now we're at 3.16 months. The cutoff where it starts getting gray is right at 4 months, and that's where the separation between a seller's market and a buyer's market starts to get a little fuzzy. We are clearly in a seller's market still, and so inventory is low. Buyers are coming down, and that's what's going on in St. Lucie County.
Yeah, so that's St. Lucie County. And in Martin County, our absorption rate is 3.4 compared to your 3.16. So pretty close. Still, like to Chris's point, a seller's market. We need more listings. We have more buyers than sellers. So, Kara, I know you have a beautiful home. We can talk about that later. You knew I was going to hit you up for that one, didn't you?
You need to sell it, Kara.
Yes. And buy and build a bigger one.
Where do I move?
We'll find a place. Don't worry. We got you. So our medium sales price is $490,000 compared to your $383, right? So Martin's just a little higher there on the median sales price, and then our median days on the market 25 compared to your 21.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty close. And then list to sales. So what we actually list the houses for, not us, but the average for Martin and St. Lucie are both the same. So list to sale and what we actually sell it for is 94%.
And what that is 94% of the list price is what the sellers are realizing on average in Martin and St. Lucie County, which is a pretty that number has always been pretty consistent in the 28 years I've been in the business. The last few years where it's been over 100% in most cases, throw those 3 years out, and now it's getting back to more of a traditional percentage of what the sellers are realizing.
But there's still people that are getting over asking
Yes.
and multiple offers. And I spoke to someone 2 days ago who sold their home in Stewart, and they got multiple offers and they sold it for more than asking. And people are shocked when they hear that, but it's still happening. It's not like it was during the height, but it's still taking place.
Absolutely. I had one recently that sold $40,000 over asking price, multiple offers. Again, when
Whoa.
you price the house right and there's low inventory, especially in a particular neighborhood, sellers dictate the price. Supply and demand. It's the old adage.
So, well, I think I have a house for Kara in her family. that one on the river that you guys
Well,
had a couple weeks ago.
yeah.
Seen that listing on Facebook.
Yeah, I have 2 on the water, Kara, but one is only available now. One went under contract. So,
Ooh,
yes,
congratulations.
we're very excited. So, yeah. And it's great when you see a great family selling their home and they sell it to another great family. It's a beautiful thing. So, but yeah, I do have waterfront property for you. Your son like fishing? I know he likes baseball.
Yes, he loves it all.
And you guys like drinking out by the water in the pool,
Who
right?
doesn't?
Right?
Absolutely.
So there
Part
you
of
go.
being
Done deal.
Floridian. And the great thing is we all grew up together. Our families are intertwined. And I know Kara, a 5th generation Fort Pierce girl, which is fantastic.
Wow.
I know your sister very well, and your brother-in-law Mickey. I grew up with him, playing football with him, and being goofballs in high school and all the way through. He's just one of my favorite people of all time. And we're all fellow John Carroll alums as well.
Yes.
So
You mean there were goofballs at John Carroll?
just a few of us. Just a
This
few.
guy.
Yeah. Mickey went
And
to
Mickey,
Central.
apparently.
Yeah, he went to
Oh, yeah,
Central,
he
but we
did.
all hung out together. He is
Yeah.
our close group of friends. So he's fantastic. So great family. Very fond of the Carltons from way back. Just legends in St. Lucie County for certain.
Yeah, definitely. So Chris graduated in 90. We're now aging ourselves. And I was 91, so I'm the younger of us. By 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
And then, Kara, you were
1996.
96.
My husband and I both, yes.
So there you go. So you and your husband, 96. We did not go to school at the same time as Kara, but I graduated with her sister, Glenna.
Yes.
Which is crazy. And
Yeah.
so then I met Kara like when we were adults and probably 10, 12 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just crazy. It's a small town, right? So
It is.
So tell us, you were born and raised here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family.
Yes, so born and raised in Fort Pierce, and as Chris mentioned, part of the Carlton family, which is a multi-generational pioneer family here.
absolutely.
So very proud of that.
Yes.
Went to John Carroll High School, went on to Florida State University, and then now I've spent 20 years at Florida Atlantic University.
No way.
Yes way. Yes.
Wow.
And I've always, FAU's main campus is in Boca Raton,
Right.
but my positions have always been on the northern end of FAU's service region.
Okay.
So I spent a good part of my career at Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute up in northern Fort Pierce.
Yep.
I still work with Harbor Branch, but my office now is on our Jupiter campus.
Okay.
And so I've always kind of helped hold down the northern end for the FAU system, so it's really been a privilege to do that.
So do you go to the campus Monday through Friday, or are you working remotely, or what does that look like?
I
Okay.
go to Jupiter pretty much every day unless I'm called to Boca for meetings or out and about in the community at meetings. But yeah, Jupiter's home base.
Okay, that's nice.
And how long ago did FAU's presence in St. Lucie County? When did they actually start the 4-year program here in St. Lucie County?
Well, so FAU was established in 1961.
Okay.
And then throughout the years, it's grown, and St. Lucie County has always been a big part of our service region. We had a campus in St. Lucie West for about 10 years.
Right.
And then due to some shifts and things like that, it became part of Indian River State College.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's really exciting what IRSC has been able to do with that location.
Yes.
Okay.
They just had a really great ribbon cutting ceremony last week for their nursing program, which has taken shape on that side of the campus, and I know other things. So, yay for IRSC.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But our physical presence up here in St. Lucie is now with Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, and I have a lot to share about some really cool community programs they have there later on.
Yes, definitely. And they have a high school there as well.
Yeah, MOA through
Yep.
St. Lucie School District is at Harbor Branch Marine Oceanographic Academy.
It's supposed to be a fantastic high school.
Yes.
My girlfriend, her son went there and graduated from there, so
Right.
good stuff. And then my son graduated from FAU, the Boca.
Yay,
now he went
girls.
through COVID, so
Yes.
we shifted. He lived off campus.
Yes.
But go Owls, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember visiting there because I used to handle FAU. I handled their marketing and advertising back in the day when I was with Scripps. At that time, it was Scripps.
Yes.
And so Dr. Kelly was there at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember going there and getting his shirt and bringing it back for him and saying, I want you to go to this school.
Well, I have to say that when we did our work with you on the digital marketing, that was FAU's first foray into digital marketing. Was with you and your team at Scripps. We actually chose our paper here as our vendor of choice for that. And that was back when digital marketing was really
Just getting
kind of, it was still new and not.
infancy. Yeah.
And so, yeah, we got our feet wet with that with
Yeah.
you and your team.
It was so great to
So.
work alongside FAU and develop all the strategies and the campaigns around that school and seeing the growth and how they've really raised the bar.
Yes.
It makes me very proud. So, anyways.
Absolutely. I mean, it's grown tremendously since when you started, in the last few years, especially after last year, the growth. Can you tell us a little bit about the population, where it ranks in terms of population, student population, as far as
Yes.
Florida schools?
Yes. So FAU enrolls about 30,000 students, and
Okay.
I expect that number to continue to climb.
That's amazing.
We are next week, our fall semester begins, and we will see nearly 4,500 incoming freshmen.
Wow.
Average GPA of 3.89.
So I could never get into FAU.
I was gonna say.
Thank God I graduated
Chris,
from
you can
Georgia
forget
a
about
long
that.
time ago.
That is fantastic.
The number of Miret scholars that we're starting to see is on the rise as well, and it's definitely a first choice university for
Yes.
thousands of students. 80%. Oh, and I want to also mention that we have about 1,200 new transfer students coming in this fall too, and these
Excellent.
numbers are still calculating. So
Where
these
are
are
you
great
seeing
numbers.
those transfers coming from?
These state colleges,
Okay.
other institutions.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That choose to transfer into FAU for the rest of their study.
And
I
that's
got to
a-
ask you about, your run in the NCAA basketball. Did all of that publicity have anything to do with like this larger enrollment?
Well, we were already starting to see this growth trend, but the Final Four run definitely put it on steroids. Our numbers, they did like some studies on our homepage website traffic. It skyrocketed during that time, and the numbers are now elevated. We are definitely seeing way more interest in the university.
Sure.
It's amazing what athletics can do for the reputation of a university in general.
Absolutely. I know it was a nice boost when Lane Kiffin came over, brought a lot of extra attention to the football program. And then, you're in such a beautiful location in Boca
Yes.
Raton. Who wouldn't want to be in South Florida? And
And-
then when you have the athletics as well,
Yeah.
and the participation with people going there and,
And
really
we
showing
were
that
so
enthusiasm.
fortunate because that was such a special group of young men that
Yes.
that went on that run, and we couldn't have asked for better representatives of the
Oh,
university.
Absolutely.
Great.
That's
I
so
love hearing
exciting.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that
fantastic.
boost that goes along with it. I know that my son, he graduated from the University of Miami in 2023. And when he was down there right before his freshman year, Drake made a few appearances on campus, went to the School of Music, did an impromptu concert for, at the student hall, and then started giving away scholarships, started wearing University of Miami gear. The applications went through the roof. So it's unbelievable, just that little boost that, where kids see that. And again, being in South Florida, it's so exciting because you have such a great product. And now people are starting to realize
because it becomes more relevant to more
Yes.
households when
Absolutely.
you have that celebrity factor or
Yes.
these amazing athletic achievements. So it's exciting to see the trends after the Final Four run.
Absolutely, and it's such a quality institution anyway, and we'll get into it with the research development. I mean, it's just unbelievable everything that's happening with our school, our local, four-year university, which is really exciting.
Actually, Chris and I were at Woods, right?
Yes.
The restaurant in Jupiter. Is that Jupiter technically?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
it's Jupiter.
Jupiter.
So we were there the night that they had the Final Four, and it was just.
I know. It was a heartbreaker at the
It
very end.
was, but it was so exciting.
Yes.
It really was, and just the energy in the restaurant, and that was a great restaurant to be at during that Final Four. But yeah, so we also had a guest, Sean Williams from Marine Bank, who lives by you.
Yes, in
You
Stewart
both
West.
should sell your homes. So he was actually at the Final Four. And I know you were in Texas, you were telling us earlier.
Yes.
This is interesting. Share that story.
So I happened to be, I'd never been to Texas before, but I had a long-term trip planned with my mother and some commitments around that time. And of all places they ended up going, it was to Houston, Texas. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the game, but my mom and my family and I, we were all on the edge of our seats.
Sure.
Watching on TV and cheering them on. And it was really awesome to see at the Houston, in the metro area and at the airport, all of the FAU fans.
Yes.
And all of the banners that were around it. I've been at FAU for so long, and I've seen, when I first started FAU back in, it was 2002, how the rapid growth and acceleration, that's not a very long period of time
No.
in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things.
No.
And I feel like FAU's growth trajectory has just been extraordinary.
Yes.
And so these kinds of events really make it even better.
Yeah, definitely. It brings a lot of awareness and helps the brand for
Yes.
sure. And it's a great school, a beautiful campus. It's a nice little, I haven't been there in years, but
Yeah.
and so I'm sure it's probably a little more active than it was when I was there. But I remember there's a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a benefit.
Yeah.
And so you have dorms, right? So you have on-campus living. So how many students can live on campus?
So right now we have 5,182 on-campus students living in
Okay.
dorms. The majority of that number is on the Boca campus, and then we do have dorms on our Jupiter campus that are affiliated with the Honors College.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. So then there's a lot of people. So 5,000 out of 30,000, right? There's a lot of people. Are they commuting from the general?
Yeah.
Are they living off campus?
Well, a combination of off-campus living, commuting, and then we do have graduate students. So there's a graduate student population, so that would be graduate and doctoral degree seeking students.
Excellent.
Yeah. I remember trying to get an apartment there. We got one by Meisner Park. So,
Yes.
I mean, to Chris's point, it's a beautiful place to live,
Yes.
right? For sure.
So we definitely have more demand for dorm space
Sure.
than ever. So
I'm
it
sure
would be
you
great
do.
to be able to expand our dorm space, but we are definitely at capacity.
Yeah.
With all that additional revenue coming in through
Yes,
athletics, hopefully
yes.
they'll be able to
Yes.
fund some over for the dorms and start building.
Great
Yes.
marketing plan. Would you rather go to college in Tallahatchie or Boca?
Right? Or
Where
Jupiter.
it's only a couple miles from the beach. That's one of our main
Yes.
selling points.
No, you don't even want to say that. You just say Boca Raton.
It's funny. I saw the footage from FAU Moving Day was yesterday for the students moving into the dorms, and so many of the kids had surfboards
Oh my goodness.
moving in. So they really held on to that selling point.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah. I know
awesome.
that when my son was looking at different schools, we were looking at a few up in North Carolina, and then he came down to Notre Dame and Miami. So I pulled up the weather in Notre Dame. I said, here's what it is in South Bend, Indiana right now. I think it was 20-something degrees.
Frigid.
And I said, and here it is in Miami. And he's like, yep, that's all I needed to see. And so I was very happy to keep him close to home.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And from a parent's perspective too, I remember, the communication is really great at FAU as well. They have that, the social channel that you could be a part of as a parent, and they give you a lot of updates. And I also remember the safety of the campus, right? I remember a lot of that taking place, and if
Yeah.
if you feel threatened or unsafe, or so that's really important too from a parent's perspective to
Yeah.
know that, because you're going to be doing this soon, Kara,
I
right? You
know.
have a junior in high school,
I
so you're
know.
going to be, and so you're giving your
and safety is a top priority.
Sure.
I think for the entire state university, all the state universities in Florida,
Yes.
and the state colleges, and even K through 12, safety is such an important concern now more than ever. And
Yes.
working with local law enforcement and other agencies, we've really stepped up our protocols to ensure the safety of all the people that work at FAU, the students at FAU. It's great. It's a very safe environment.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
have a police department, an FAU police department that is.
Absolutely. With the number of students that are there, and I think you had
Yeah.
said it's the 5th largest university
In Florida.
which is just absolutely fantastic. So it would necessitate a police force there. So just that
Yes.
added security to run in conjunction with the city and county, it's really good to have that extra protection, all that added layers when they work together for the student safety.
And then FAU is known for its diversity as well, right? So tell us a little bit about the makeup of your student body there.
So we were recently recognized as a top minority degree producer. Issues in Higher Education magazine, which is a really big trade publication in the world of higher education, they ranked FAU in the top 20 for graduating African American students with bachelor's degrees, and in the top 100 minority degree producers in the country.
Fantastic.
So we're known, we're also designated as a Hispanic serving institution, which is something we're really proud of.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we're rising in the ranks in general. U.S. News and World Report, our goal is to hit the top 100. We moved from 140 to number 132, and we're continuing to climb. So we're getting really close to that goal. And that's a specific campaign. It's called FAU 100.
I remember
fantastic.
that campaign was
Yes.
a top priority way back, and you have moved up a lot.
It's worked.
That's
Yes.
incredible.
And it's not just optics. They're doing the hard work behind the scenes to ensure that we deserve those rankings. And we
Absolutely.
absolutely do.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, after we come back from break, we'll dive into some of those specific programs that are helping boost those ratings.
All right. This is the FAU hour on the Miret team. Oh, my goodness. What changes down at FAU? Stay tuned.
Are you looking to buy or sell a home in Martin, St. Lucie, or Palm Beach County and need a top producing team to help guide you through the process? Call the Miret team so we can put our 28 years of experience to work to ensure you get the best deal.
We have successfully helped over 3,000 families buy or sell their homes in the last 28 years and have the experience you need to guide you through every situation. For a free market evaluation, you could reach Chris and Christine at 772-201-9115. Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine with the Miret team of Keller Williams Realty.
Looking for a knowledgeable and trustworthy real estate agent? Look no further than the Miret team.
With 28 years experience and over 3,000 satisfied clients, we are committed to helping you navigate the complex real estate market.
The Miret team is the perfect partner for all of your home buying and selling needs.
Contact us for a free home market evaluation or visit our website, miretteam.com. That's MIRETTEAM.com.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We are back on Miret Team Live Real Estate Talk with FAU today.
Hi. All right. So we were talking to Kara before the break, and a lot of good things happening at Florida Atlantic University. I think everybody knows FAU at this point. I don't think I need to
Absolutely.
say all the words, but go Owls, right?
Yes.
So I have my little fan for those of you that are watching us on YouTube. So Kara, tell us a little bit about FAU and the programs. There's the STEM disciplines to liberal arts and humanities. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about what people, what programs you have and
So we have 10 different colleges, and it spans from business to our College of Education, Engineering and Computer Science, College of Science. So we offer a wide range of programs for our students.
That's awesome. So, what do you see? Most of the students are. Is it more business, science? What does that?
So,
break down?
some of our biggest majors are the College of Engineering and Computer Science. Our business College of Business has very high numbers. Arts and Letters, and then some of the other colleges, like our College of Nursing, their enrollment is about 1,200. But we just got a major appropriation from the state to be able to increase that number, because the slots that we have for that college are full. We get way more applications than we have seats. So because healthcare and the workforce shortage, we got some great funding thanks to the support of our local legislators to be able to increase the number of seats of nursing and our College of Medicine for future doctors.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
That is really awesome. Yeah, we need good nurses, right? They're so important to our communities, and there is such a demand for them.
Such a demand.
And they do so much good and so much hard work. So great that you got that. And there's a new brain. What is the
Brain Institute?
Yeah.
So it's part of. So I'd like to mention that. Research is also a big part of FAU's mission. It's a research university. And in the world of higher ed, that's really important. When a university is engaged in externally funded research, it really improves the quality on the academic side as well, and it opens up a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of undergraduates that are participating in research, so it provides extraordinary opportunities. But the research also looks at really exploring solutions for our society's biggest problems, everything from problems with our environment to planning for smart cities that are connected by artificial intelligence, to medical concerns. And so speaking of medical concerns, that's where our Stiles-Nicholson Brain Institute comes in. That's a neuroscience specific institute.
Wow.
And they are exploring all kinds of mechanisms of the brain that contribute to autism, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all of these issues that impact. So, I mean, if you don't have the disease yourself, you at least know someone
Absolutely.
that does. And so this work is really important.
Yeah.
Now, which campus is that on?
Stiles-Nicholson Brain Institute is a brand new building that just opened on our Jupiter campus.
Makes sense.
So is there some kind of demonstration or something that's open to the public? You can go in there and there's some interactive...
So for the Brain Institute?
Yes.
So they partnered, so Dr. Randy Blakely is the executive director of the Institute, and he is phenomenal. He joined the university 6 or 7 years ago. He came from a long tenure at Vanderbilt. And one thing that's unique about Dr. Blakely is that he's very community. He's an amazing researcher, but he also puts time and effort into the community. And so one of the first things he did when he moved to South Florida was he connected with it was then the South Florida Science Museum. Now it's called Cox Science Center and Aquarium.
Okay.
That's on Southern Boulevard there.
All right.
Amazing place to take family and children and friends. It's right next to the zoo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
So they underwent a major overhaul recently. They're great partners, but they created Journey Through the Human Brain with Dr. Blakely, and it's an amazing exhibit about neuroscience.
Wow.
They have a huge brain on display and all kinds of cool things that make it relevant to the average person.
I love it. Another good place to, because there are actually like Facebook groups that, Stewart moms, for example, and they're always asking, where do I take my kids, especially during the summer?
That's a great day trip. It truly, because that not only do they have that exhibit, they have so many others, and they also host traveling exhibits as well.
I love it.
That is so fantastic. With the research and development being such a big part of St. Lucie County, a long tradition with all the research that's going along there. I know it goes hand in hand with FAU as well, with the professors and the
Yes.
researchers that are doing that, and how they're able to
Yeah.
contribute.
We are at 70 million in research awards. So these come from
Unbelievable.
agencies like the National Science Foundation, National Institutes of Health, and then also from private foundations. So it's a mix.
Yes.
But that number is growing, and we are tracking toward achieving R1 status, which is basically a lot of your major universities in the country are tier 1 when it
Okay.
comes to research. And
So R1 stands for research.
a research one, tier
okay.
1 university, and that's a designation by the Carnegie Foundation.
Wow.
That is fantastic.
big
What an
deal.
achievement that is
Yeah, so
to be right there.
We're
to be
tracking that way.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
And so the mark is about 100 million. So we're
Okay.
Okay,
we're
so we got a
getting-
little bit more to
so
go.
a big chunk of our current research is conducted at Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute right here in Fort Pierce.
What a beautiful place that is. What a facility.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people that don't realize all the stuff that's taking place in our backyard, right? Tell us a
Harbor
little bit
Branch
about
is
that.
as you many people know, it's got a rich history in St.
Yes.
Lucie County. It was founded in 1971. And it sits on 144 acres in northern St. Lucie County, right on the lagoon.
Yeah.
And now it hosts about 200 employees, a mix of scientists and support staff. And they are working on research related to our natural environment, so coral reefs, the Indian River Lagoon, our algal bloom problems, everything from those topics to ocean engineering, and even into the classified research world as far as underwater engineering and working with that kind of work. So
That's amazing.
the portfolio is growing, and but while it's such a sophisticated research institute, they also put an emphasis on community, and they have an amazing suite of programs that the community can take advantage of.
Oh, nice.
We just launched Indian River Lagoon boat tour.
Ooh.
And I'm excited to share. It's a 1.5 hour excursion aboard the pontoon boat called the Discovery.
Nice.
And the participants have the opportunity to experience the lagoon like never before. It's a floating laboratory with state-of-the-art tools, and
Wow.
activities include interpreting real-time water quality data from the lagoon, surveying underwater habitats with a little ROV, and identifying wildlife. And so these
that's awesome.
cruises are hosted by scientists.
Okay.
And so it's really a fun and enriching experience.
Absolutely.
And tickets are available on the Harbor Branch website. So
Okay.
just Google FAU Harbor Branch, and under the community outreach programs, you can find everything they offer, because it's not limited to boat tours. We have campus tours, lectures. We have all kinds of stuff that people can take advantage of.
That's
Wow.
so fantastic to have that again in our backyard. It is just mind blowing, the research that's there, and then these activities. What a great way to spend the day.
Yeah, I love that scientists are hosting those tours as
Yes.
well. I mean, that's fantastic to be
And
able
these
to.
are highly trained people that,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they are passionate about educating people about the environment.
That's fantastic. I mean, we just have such a beautiful waterway here, so we want to make sure it's well cared for. And there was an article pushed out, I think, this morning about the Lako and
Yeah.
what that's going to do.
And
is-
it's a really important economic driver and
Yes.
a driver of real estate.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Because our highest priced properties lie
Yes.
along the lagoon,
They
so it's important that we keep it healthy.
Absolutely.
Very, very important. Well, that's awesome. So the boat tours, are they like 7 days a week, or is it weekends, or what is the schedule looking? Do you know?
They are offered on Fridays at
Oh, okay.
10:30 a.m., Saturdays at 10:30, and 1 p.m.
Okay, nice.
And there are the boat can hold up to 30 guests.
Wow.
And reservations and payment are required in advance. And yes, you can get all of this on the website.
So the website again is?
It's fau.edu/HBOI. But if you go to Google, if you
Yep.
don't remember that, if you go to Google and just Google FAU Harbor Branch, that will pop up.
That will pull up. Okay.
And I highly recommend, Harbor Branch's YouTube page, for any of those out there that like to cruise YouTube, it has a treasure trove of really cool videos and footage from undersea voyages and things, and I highly recommend taking a peek at our YouTube page.
Wow. Yeah,
Our
that's
lagoon is so rich with wildlife, and to be able to go on an interactive boat where you get to pick the brain of a researcher that knows what he's talking about, and hopefully can put it in layman's terms so we can understand it. It's just to see it and visualize it. It sounds great. I definitely want to do that.
And we just started a wonderful program with the Boys and Girls Club of St. Lucie County.
Yes.
And so they are also working to get a lot of the kids that are club members out on the water and exposed to marine science as well.
That's wonderful.
That's so
just
fantastic.
Exposing them to that because they
At a young age.
and letting them know that if they have an interest, this is what we have to offer. Oh, that's fantastic. Do we do anything with Shark Week?
Oh my gosh.
I heard a rumor. Chris wants to go down with the sharks. That's why I asked.
So we have an amazing shark research team at Harbor Branch led by Dr. Matt Ajamian. And then we also have a shark expert actually on our Boca campus in the College of Science. His name is Steve Kujura. And Steve Kujura has appeared many, many times on Shark Week, and Matt Ajamian has as well. And their teams.
Yep.
And they have a lot of really amazing work going on related to the shark population, which is endangered in some ways. It's important work.
Yeah.
They're apex of the ecosystem, so they need to be, protected.
Just as long as they're not in the water with me.
Yes.
They're coming closer to like the shoreline, and it's just crazy what we're seeing.
Yes. I'm not a scientist, but I'm sure that there's changes going on that are impacting their behavior.
Probably.
Lucky humans are not on their menu, so it's so that's definitely a good thing. My son, who's a diver, tells me that all the time as he's swimming with the sharks. And I know orcas were just down in Key Largo.
Yes, I saw those articles as well.
It is unbelievable. That, we have great white sharks trolling, and now orcas. How many more apex predators can we get? Or the battle of the orcas versus the great whites.
Wow. So with all that research that's taking place at FAU, I know tradition is very focused on research and jobs and the research category. So there's a connection there, I'm sure.
So there's the Florida Research and Innovation Center through Cleveland Clinic. I believe they're in the building, one of the large research buildings out in Tradition. And then one of our fellow SUS members, the Florida International University, has a presence in one of the buildings out there working on various topics. So, and with that and with Harbor Branch's work and with the work going on at FAU, it's a nice little cluster of activity for biotech.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's so good for the economy. So many people are coming to this area, one of the fastest growing counties, in America, which is really exciting. And the fact that we're producing these high-paying jobs, and we're training people at great institutions like FAU, where students are able to get hands-on training, and then be able to go, right down the street, to Tradition and Harbor Branch, and actually use that research and continue it on. It's just so encouraging.
Yeah, it's really exciting because I was told that 80% of our current enrollment are Florida residents.
That is fantastic.
So I think it shows how much of a driver, not only what Florida Atlantic is to the Florida economy, but all the state universities.
Yes.
And a big chunk of our alumni population resides in Florida.
Yes.
So I think that shows that these students are coming out with fantastic degrees and going back into the workforce.
Yes.
We talked earlier about all of the people we knew through John Carroll and growing up here, and think about how many of us are here contributing back to the local community.
Absolutely.
And still chose to make this our home. I think that says a lot about this county and the region and the quality of life here.
No question about it. We live where people vacation. It gets thrown around a lot, but we truly live in a paradise, and we're very fortunate to be here.
Yes, definitely.
And you guys have really benefited, too, from the bowl game that is played on campus, in the on-campus stadium in December.
Yes.
The Boca Bowl.
The Boca Bowl. Yes, that has brought a lot of attention to the campus. And, the stadium in general, it's an amazing stadium.
Yeah. Yes.
And we've even been able to host some major soccer events as well there. And it also serves as a big event venue, the tower portion of it. So it's a great addition to the university.
Yeah.
What's the capacity of the stadium? Do you know that offhand?
I want to say it's 30,000 seats.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
about
a good-sized stadium.
And it's got room for growth in the future. They have certain sections. I remember when it was being built that they left certain sections blank, and they could be filled in the future.
Absolutely.
Hopefully
Smart
we'll
to
get
be-
to that point.
I'm sure they are with the way the athletic program's being handled. That I definitely think, with that extra
Yes.
exposure, people are going to be wanting to come to and show off.
I mean,
there.
for Treasure Coast residents, FAU football is really a fun thing.
Yes.
It's not that far away.
Sure.
It's a really fun event. It's they have all kinds of fun food and concessions and rah-rah, and it's a great thing to take the kids down to. So buy your FAU football tickets.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you don't have to deal with all the craziness with the traffic down in Miami, driving all the way to Gainesville,
Yes.
anything like that. So it is such a great experience to be on campus and and get to feel that energy that's being provided down there. It's go Owls. Definitely
Yeah.
support it.
Yeah, so definitely go to the website and purchase your tickets
to
now.
FAU Athletics. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, football season's coming quickly.
It
I know a few
is.
of us can't wait for that to get going.
Yes, there goes my Saturday. No, I'm kidding. It's a lot of fun, though. I actually wasn't a college football fan before I dated Chris, and now I'm like totally into it. I
So
love
you
it.
root for UGA, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
graduated
great
from
school.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Oh, do they still have a football team?
they do back-to-back national champions.
Yeah, you haven't heard about them?
So yeah, I brought Christine to campus. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago, I brought her, and there's nothing like the small town, football experience.
Yeah.
And that's something that
Athens is a
Being an
great.
Athens.
It
We were
is.
there for baseball with my son
Oh,
last
fantastic.
summer, and it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a special place. So Christine got to feel that atmosphere,
Yeah.
and now she gets why I'm such a screaming lunatic on Saturday afternoons when the dogs are playing.
I have a lot of new outfits as a result, so keep
Yeah.
ordering on them.
Well, those are great colors, black and red.
They are.
There
I
you go.
mean,
Goes
yes,
with our Keller Williams as well. So
absolutely.
we got to multitask with that.
So tell us a little bit about the Honors Campus in Jupiter.
So our Jupiter campus, it's the John D. MacArthur campus in Jupiter, and it is home to the Harriet L. Wilkes Honors College, as well as other things, like I mentioned the Brain Institute earlier. Also, Max Planck, Florida
Right.
Neuroscience,
Yep.
a German research organization, is on site.
Okay.
UF Scripps Research
Scripps,
is
yep.
there. And then we have, as I mentioned, the Honors College. The Honors College, that campus is about 23 years old now.
Wow.
And it was one of the first major components of the campus. And it is a 4-year liberal arts and sciences program. And it's the only freestanding honors college within a university in the country.
Wow.
Wow.
And what that means is the college has its own faculty. So they teach across a majority of disciplines, but those faculty are all within the Honors College. And so they have a very small class size, and each student is paired with a faculty mentor that
Wow.
works with them throughout their whole experience. And these are your best and brightest.
Sure.
Yes.
We have a lot of Miret scholars that go through there, but we have amazing scholarship programs. And so basically they're getting a very premier, very rigorous education at state university tuition rates.
Wow.
So you could go to a Harvard, a Yale, or you could go to the Honors College and get fully scholarshiped in some cases and also have state tuition rates. So
That's fantastic.
And that one-on-one interaction is just priceless. Being able to have the smaller class sizes
Yeah.
and just have access to the professors.
the
like
majority of these kids are going on to graduate level school.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
whether that's law school,
Yeah.
med school, or just graduate school in general, but they all the alumni stories out of there are amazing.
I could imagine. That's
Yeah. We had
absolutely
one
amazing.
student who went through, we have a medical pipeline through there, so it's these really stellar kids that when they get accepted as a freshman, they automatically get into FAU med school as well.
Wow.
So we had a student that went through that whole track. And then at the end, because of the liberal arts part of his education, he ended up being a writer for Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my gosh! Because of the liberal.
A real
Yes.
classic underachiever,
Because he
right?
was he played
Jeez.
piano. He was he was a scientist, but he was also very artistic.
Unbelievable.
And
Good
so
for him.
that's just one of many stories like that.
Well, that's a
that-
great one. What a success story.
Yeah.
Good for them. That is just to have that in there. Yes, that's incredible.
So I wonder if he wrote McDreamy out of the.
I don't know.
I gotta talk to him about that.
Wait a minute. That person's on strike right now.
Well, that's fantastic. If the FAU, we were talking numbers earlier, and you were saying the average GPA is 3.
For incoming freshmen.
Yeah, for incoming, it was 3.89,
Yeah,
right?
and for the honors college,
It's gotta be.
I don't have, but it's even higher than that.
Yeah, and
The
that's already.
their test scores are tremendous, and
Unbelievable.
so yeah, it's a really premier.
Now,
program.
those are real GPAs, not weighted or anything.
Those are
real
solid,
numbers.
real GPAs.
Solid numbers.
Yeah, I know
Wow.
with the weighted system,
Yeah,
it's hard
it's
to
crazy.
know.
Yes.
So
All I know is mine was nothing close to that.
No.
That's all
No.
I know.
I don't think if I added mine twice, it would get to that. But good for these kids. That's so fantastic. They're able to keep them here in state, and that we have these premier universities for them to go to. That's just really exciting.
So you're starting your fall semester next week, right, at FAU. So you said earlier there's 4,500 incoming
freshmen, close to. Numbers are still rolling right now, but
Wow.
that we're getting there. And then the transfers, it's actually 1,700 new transfer students coming
Okay.
in.
And then total
And
was 30,000 students,
30,000
right?
students.
Is that just Boca, or is that Boca and
whole
Jupiter? It's
university.
the whole university. Okay.
Of course, the lion's share of those students are at our,
At
which
Boca.
is the traditional college atmosphere.
Right. Right.
Yep. So, what if a parent is listening and they want their kid to go to FAU? What should they know?
Well, definitely sign up for a tour. We have campus tours going on all the time, run by our admissions department. So definitely go online and look into visiting.
Yeah.
And then Florida. We're in this state. We are very fortunate to have an extremely strong university system.
Yes, we do.
And it's governed by the state university system board of governors, and I think that if you come to Florida, you're going to get a premier education, but the standards are high now, so you have to, like, I have a high schooler myself, so back when I got into I don't know if I would have gotten into Florida State these days, because I had a good grades and I had a decent test scores, but what they're expecting from kids now, they have to be well-rounded. They have to have extracurricular involvement.
Not
Absolutely.
not just the grades.
Yes, they need to show that going above and beyond just going to class and hitting the boxes. So extracurricular involvement is really important. I know for Florida Bright Futures, which is an amazing program,
Absolutely.
they require a minimum of 80 service hours, and to get the higher level, it's 100 community service hours. Now they've made it to where you can count work hours for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good, because my son was part of the Bright Future. He had the highest level.
Yes.
And we had to make sure he qualified for all that. So I was
Recently,
constantly.
they changed it to where you can count pay, because that shows leadership too.
Yep.
If you're a high school student,
Absolutely.
and you're working. So, but yeah, we still as a state have very competitive tuition rates.
Yes,
Yes.
extremely. Yeah, being in state, being able to do that. And I just remembered, to your point, we had a college, we hired someone to help us with the administration to get Brady in the school, and they said to find that hook, to separate yourself from other people. So because so many qualified students are wanting to stay within Florida and these great institutions like FAU.
Yeah, and then the out-of-state kids are coming in too.
Absolutely.
Because I think in some cases, some out-of-state kids could actually pay less in Florida than they would in their home state.
Interesting.
So,
Wow. Well, it's a great school. It's we're definitely excited to see what happens this year with the basketball and and all the teams
And football.
Buy your tickets, everyone.
Yes.
Make sure you go to that stadium. It's a fantastic stadium. A lot of fun to go to a local game here.
The
It's,
baseball team's not shabby either.
Yeah, and
They're
you're a
great
baseball
team.
player, so you would know, right? Your junior is quite the baseball player.
So
I
is
hear.
he looking at FAU baseball at all?
Oh yeah. But among his peer group, FAU is considered a really cool
You've got a
place
good
to go
team.
play. Yeah, and he's had
Absolutely.
a few more senior teammates that have gone on to play at FAU. So
That's awesome.
That's really exciting. Well, thank you so much for joining us and giving us this great information on what an amazing university you represent. So go Owls.
A lot of great things happening.
I appreciate you having me as a guest.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll see you guys next week. This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie.